Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the best football podcast in all of YouTube. I know I'm a little late. I said 2. It's almost 2:30. I'm your host, TJ Riddell. We're here to talk about division round, conference championship play. Let's get it. Yes, Chef Kurt, take it away.
All my haters mad, but I don't give a fuck. All my haters mad, but I don't give a fuck. My chopper hit.
All right.
My footy hit.
Enough with the gaga. We're here to talk about possibly one of the most exciting parts of football up until the Super Bowl. Conference championship week, okay? This is a very exciting time. And honestly, one of my favorite times of the year. Unfortunately, for the past almost 27 years, by the way, next Sunday will be my birthday, so I plan on doing something special for that time. Possibly Saturday or Sunday. I'll come up with something for the PMP. But man, for the past 27 years, all I've wanted was the Cowboys to excel. But we'll get on that here shortly. But let's talk about the first couple of games before we even go any further and waste any time. Because I want to talk about some of the most important games that happened Saturday. First of all, I want to talk about this Chiefs-Jaguars game where the Chiefs survived a scare. I say survived for a reason because Patrick Mahomes went down on an ugly sprained ankle injury. It looked worse than that. I was fucking grossed out by it, but Jacksonville hung in there. They played with guts, and I thought they would play with guts in this game, but Kansas City ended up winning 27-20. A big factor in this game was Travis Kelce, which he had 14 receptions, 98 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Patrick Mahomes had a really good game, 22 for 30, 195 passing yards, and 2 touchdowns. The only reason why he doesn't have more yardage is because he went out in the early stages of the game. So for the Jaguars side, you got Trevor Lawrence with 24 for 39, 217 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Then you got Travis Etienne, 10 carries, 62 yards, 1 touchdown, which I think he should have gotten more carries. I think they would have had a better chance if they gave him the rock some more. And then you got Zay Jones, 5 receptions, 83 yards. Listen, so let's talk about Jacksonville first. Hell of a season, hell of a turnaround season for the Jaguars. They were on a 5-game win streak going into this game, and a lot of people had a lot of faith in the Jaguars after that win against Las Vegas or Los Angeles, and rightfully so. They played good football up to this late, I mean, they had a scare last week, but they were able to bounce back and win that game. And I got to say, I called these guys the Duval Thundercats when they were playing good football, and they played like the Duval Thundercats, And Jacksonville, I had to say, they're going to be back in the playoffs next season. I could guarantee you that. They have really good young talent. Trevor Lawrence being there, it's a good thing for Jacksonville. Now for Kansas City, you got to watch out for Mahomes. He was limping around still throughout the game, but he still played great. But that kind of takes away from his mobility. So use him as a day by day. And honestly, if he's not able to run or walk very well, you need to sit him out. I'm not saying this to be a hater of Mahomes. I think he's a phenomenal quarterback, But if you want him to play for the rest of his career, you have to sit him out because Jeez, man, that was an ugly injury. I don't want to see that again. Uh, Pacheco, 12 carries, 95 yards. Kid's a stud. Caleb loves this guy. I love this guy. I mean, this guy just runs through the holes and he runs hard. Kind of like a Tony Pollard type, but man, kid's really good running the ball. And then you got Jerick McKinnon as well. He runs the ball pretty well for Kansas City. Kansas City has a lot of weapons. Travis Kelce, 14 receptions, 98 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Now, KC fans, hold on. Before y'all get on my ass about the whole Joe Burrow is better than Pat Mahomes thing, I made that up. I'm just hating on y'all. That's what I do. That's what I want to do. I want y'all to be mad, you know. In all seriousness, this is going to be a heck of a matchup going into the conference championship game. And Patrick Mahomes is 0-2 against Joe Burrow, you know. So I really think if Patrick Mahomes can stay healthy throughout this week, which I have no doubt that he'll play, he'll be healthy enough to play. But you got to watch out for him in this game coming up because that Bengals defense looks pretty damn good right now. And rightfully so. But I had the Chiefs winning against the Jaguars. This was a phenomenal game. I mean, the only big deficit was down by 10, 20-10, and that was for the Jaguars. They're down by 10, but they were able to bounce back. But what hurt them was that fumble close to the goal line. It was a fumble by Agnew, you know. So it hurt the Jaguars in the long run. I mean, if it wasn't for that fumble, we probably would be telling a different story. We'd probably be talking about an overtime thriller, you know. But gotta say, Kansas City overcame adversity in this game, and they did well with it. So congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs. Are back in the conference championship game for the 5th straight year in a row. And I gotta say, this is the 6th straight conference championship with either Jacksonville or Kansas City. So this will be the 5th straight conference championship for the Kansas City Chiefs. Now let's go over to the NFC side Saturday night. I was way wrong about this pick. I didn't think the Eagles were going to be able to stop Saquon. I didn't think they were going to be able to play well against that defense. Well, the first half told me otherwise. The Eagles were up 28-0 at the half. And then the only person that ran the ball for a touchdown, the only person that got a touchdown for the Giants was Matt Breida for an 8-yard touchdown. And after that, Giants couldn't get anything going on offense. They looked lackluster, and it was fucking horrible for the Giants. You know, and I am definitely nervous about this NFC Championship game with Philadelphia in the mix. And the way they played against New York. I mean, yeah, New York's a 9-7-1 team. They barely beat Minnesota, which I think they're a fraudulent 12-win team. But I think Philadelphia's for real. And we're going to see a hell of a matchup in the NFC Championship game. But here's the stats for both quarterbacks. For Daniel Jones, 15 for 27, 135 passing yards, 1 interception. Not necessarily good, but at the same time, he's got to have better weapons. But Jalen Hurts, he's got multiple weapons. They built that offense around him, you know, and it is working. Baltimore, take notes. 16 for 24, 154 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. Kenneth Gainwell had a terrific game. 120 carries, 112 yards, 1 touchdown in that game. Saquon Barkley only had 9 touches. 9. if I'm New York, I go back to the Tiki Barber, the Brandon Jacobs days, and give Saquon the ball. Quit worrying about his injuries. 9 carries, 61 yards. It's a travesty that we even have to talk about this on the pod, that Saquon's not getting enough carries. That is ridiculous. I think New York played their worst game this season. I really do think so. And Devontae Smith, 6 receptions, 61 yards, 1 touchdown. And Richie James, 7 receptions, 51 yards for a touchdown. Or not even a touchdown. But, man, Philadelphia's defense is for real. And then you got an explosive offense with 2 players almost getting 100 yards rushing in this game. And Jalen Hurts didn't even run the ball in this game. Or, yeah, he did. 9 carries, 34 yards, and he scored a touchdown. Boston Scott, 6 carries, 32 yards, 1 touchdown. Miles Sanders, 17 carries, 90 yards. You got two guys that went over 75 yards rushing in this game. And you got a quarterback that can throw and pass, or throw and run the ball. And then you got a hell of a receiving core with Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown and Dallas Goedert and Zach Pascal as well. Kenneth Gainwell was in the receiving game as well with 1 reception. But A.J. Brown had 3 receptions, 22 yards. Dallas Goedert, 5 receptions, 58 yards. Devontae Smith, 6 receptions, 61 yards. Now, James Bradbury had that 1 interception for the Eagles. But I will say this. Philadelphia whooped the shit out of New York, and I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. When I saw the halftime score, I was like, what the fuck is happening? You wouldn't have told me when the last week of the regular season, when the Eagles were playing against the Giants non-starters, I would have told you, no, the Giants are going to beat the Eagles in the divisional round. They whooped the shit out of the Giants, and now I think I'm pretty crystal clear on who I got in the conference championship game. But we're going to move over to the AFC divisional round, the last divisional game, where you got the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Buffalo Bills. So the actual game where they didn't have to cancel this game due to unfortunate circumstances in the regular season, they had to cancel it for Damar Hamlin, which he was at that game for the Buffalo Bills, but he didn't get to play. But man, oh man, are we going to have a fantastic conference championship game? This was the least appeal to me. The Bills and the Bengals, honestly. I thought that this was going to be competitive, but I didn't think it would be appealing, and I was right. It was not that appealing to me. But, look at this. The Bengals beat the fuck out of the Bills. They controlled this game. Every time that Buffalo would get a chance to get closer, fuck you. We're going to score another touchdown with Joe Mixon and Hayden Hurst and Jamar Chase, and Evan McPherson making 2 field goals in this game. 27-10, the Cincinnati Bengals and the Kansas City Chiefs meet again for the second year in a row at Kansas City, at Arrowhead Stadium. Rematch of last year's conference championship game. I am so confident about Cincinnati right now. They whooped the shit out of the other team that would beat Kansas City. I mean, this Bengals team's laser focused. Even though they barely beat the Baltimore Ravens 2 weeks in a row, they went to Buffalo in a snowy game and beat the fuck out of them. This is beating the fuck out of the Buffalo Bills, 27-10. Okay? This was a bad game. A very, very bad game. What did I say last week? Josh Allen had to minimize turnovers. He threw one interception. Okay? And I'm going to go to the full box score box score for the Buffalo Bills and the Bengals. So Josh Allen, 25 for 42. He threw 42 times. 265 passing yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. He was only sacked once, but he got pressured a lot in this game. He ran for 8 carries, 26 yards. Devin Singletary, he did get a touchdown, by the way. Devin Singletary, 6 carries, 24 yards, no touchdowns for him. James Cook, 5 carries, 13 yards, no touchdown for him. Dawson Knox was the guy that had the most receptions. 5 receptions, 65 yards, no touchdown. Khalil Shakir, 2 receptions, 40 yards. Devin Singletary, 5 receptions, 38 yards. And this next guy should have had the most targets, which he did. He should have had the most receptions, which he didn't. 4 receptions, 35 yards. Stephon Diggs. Where in the hell was Stephon Diggs in this game? Cincinnati did a really good job keying their focus on Stephon Diggs. Gabe Davis, 2 receptions, 34 yards, which I think he should have gotten more. Cole Beasley, 3 receptions, 33 yards. Isaiah McKenzie, 2 receptions, 10 yards. Quentin Morris, 1 reception, 6 yards. And Nyheim Hines, 1 reception for 4. I mean, this was an ugly game for Buffalo, man. I really do not understand how you couldn't have given it to your best playmaker, which is Stephon Diggs. You know, like 4 receptions out of 10, that's not good. But let's jump into the Cincinnati Bengals. 23 for 36, 242 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions for my man Joe Burrow. I am a huge fan of Joe Burrow. I love the way he plays. He has the swagger. He has the confidence. He only got sacked once for 2 yards. That's not bad for the Bengals offensive line. And they played great. They played outstanding in this game against a very tough Buffalo Bills front 7, 76.5 QBR. The rating is at 101.9. I mean, he had a pretty good game. Then you got Joe Mixon with 20 carries, 105 rushing yards, 1 touchdown. He had a pretty good game. 5.3 yards per average, not bad. Samaje Perine, I am familiar with that name because he's a Sooner. I hate Sooners. 7 carries, 33 yards, average to 4.7 yards. No touchdowns for him. Joe Burrow, 6 rushes for 31 yards. Jamar Chase had a carry for 3 yards. So 34 carries in this game for everybody on the Bengals. Now we go over to the receiving core. Jamar Chase, 5 receptions, 61 yards, 1 touchdown with 8 targets. Hayden Hurst, 5 receptions, 59 yards, 1 touchdown, 6 targets. So Hayden Hurst was catching just about everything that he can grab onto, Samaje Perine caught every pass that was thrown to him with 31 yards, no touchdowns for him. T. Higgins, kind of quiet in this game. 3 receptions, 28 yards with 4 targets. And then you got Tyler Boyd, 1 reception, 23 yards, 2 targets. he was kind of quiet in this game too. I think they were targeting more Jamar Chase and Hayden Hurst and trying to attack that Bills flats a little bit more in this game. And then you got Joe Mixon with 2 receptions, 18 yards with 3 targets. Trenton Irwin, I don't even know who the fuck that is, to be honest. 1 reception with 2 targets with 13 yards. And then Mitchell Wilcox, 1 reception, 9 yards, and 2 targets. So it looks like to me the Bengals are on a revenge tour, which the Chiefs are going to look to have revenge against the Bengals in the AFC Championship game. I look forward to watching that game. I think it's going to be a fantastic game. And Mahomes Burrow, part 3. Let's get it. I like this game. I am very intrigued of this game. But last game we're going to talk about. You know, I wanted this team to win. I picked this team to win. I had confidence in them. I said one thing. If Dak can stay that consistent against the 49ers, take for granted the 49ers are a very good defense. I had said if Dak could stay consistent against a good team like San Francisco, like he did against Tampa Bay, then Dallas will be good. What the fuck happened? It's like Brett Maher and Dak Prescott switched spots in that game. And that wasn't the only problem. What the fuck is Kellen Moore doing? What is Kellen Moore doing? Oh. You know, the Cowboys give me some anxiety. Not more than the University of Texas, but what the fuck are we doing? What are we doing? You know, the 49ers, it was a field goal game up until the 4th quarter where Christian McCaffrey ran it in for a touchdown, 2-yard touchdown to make it 16-9. We had a fucking chance to get points on the board multiple times in this game. What do we get? Fucking 4 field goals in this game. Our defense played outstanding. Okay, I love Dan Quinn. I hope he doesn't leave. But if he finds a head coaching job, I completely understand why you want to leave. Because, oh my God, this is beyond crazy. So the 49ers win 19-12. And, you know, the hats come off. I am fucking pissed about the Cowboys, you know. Inconsistency every fucking year. For the past 27 goddamn years. I'm about to turn 27 on Sunday. You know, in 6 days, which I plan on getting a Mike Leach cake now. I was born after the last Super Bowl. I was born the night after the last Super Bowl. For 27 years, after Barry Switzer fucked everything up, after Jerry Jones fucked everything up. Jerry Jones is the primary target of this problem. Then you got Mike McCarthy. Then you got Kellen Moore. And then you got Dak. And then you got Zeke. 5 fucking problems that need to be fixed. Get rid of Zeke. Put in Tony Pollard. I know he got hurt yesterday. That hurt our offense a little bit. But Dak has been in the league for 7 goddamn years. And he knows better. He knows better than just throw a fucking 6-yard in route to the fastest player on the field, you know, and watch him get hit. I don't know what the fuck that play call was to have fucking Ezekiel Elliott at fucking center. You know, Carolina, y'all can have fucking Kellen Moore. I don't give a flying fuck. You know, y'all can have that fucking ugly ass fucking beaver face looking motherfucker because I don't want him on my goddamn coaching staff next year. And then we go to the cheeseburger eating motherfucker named Mike McCarthy. That fat piece of crap needs to fucking leave. I don't like him as a coach. I think he's overrated. I think he doesn't know what he's doing. You know. Oh, I am hot right now. And to lose to our playoff rivals, the San Francisco 49ers. This is bound to be the worst birthday gift I have ever gotten. The 49ers versus the Eagles in the NFC Championship game, they both deserve it. They both do. They haven't faced each other this season. I'm excited for that game. But Dallas, we had a chance. We had a chance to win that game. We have a better defense than that. You know, San Francisco has flaws that Dallas doesn't have. But, you know, you got to give credit to Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers. They did an outstanding job with playing defense against Dak and then balancing it out for Brock Purdy in that offense. So let's go over the full box score. It was 19-12. The 49ers won. I picked the Cowboys to win this game. I was kind of on the fence about this game, not going to lie. But the 49ers won by 7. Dak Prescott. Dakota Prescott. No more Dak. It is Dakota Prescott. I am done. I am so done with this shit. He is Dakota Prescott. He is no longer Dak until he wins playoff games and he wins a conference championship game and wins a Super Bowl. He is no longer Dak Prescott. He is Dakota Prescott. I am so done with calling him Dak. He is no longer Dak Prescott to me. He is nothing more than Dakota Prescott. I am going to call him by his government name, not his nickname. So, Dakota Prescott, 23 for 37, 206 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, averaged out 5.6 yards a pass. And he only got sacked once in this game. His QBR, 51.5. His rating was a 63.6. Oh, my God, dude. It's so annoying. I'm more annoyed than I am pissed, you know. And I'm not surprised that the Cowboys just flutter out of the game. I don't even know. I'm not even speaking real English. I'm so annoyed. So, Zeke, 10 carries, 26 yards. Not surprised. Dakota Prescott. I'm sorry. It's going to take some time to get used to because I'm going to keep calling him Dakota Prescott from now on. Dakota Prescott, 4 carries, 22 yards, no touchdowns. No surprise there. Tony Pollard, 6 carries before he got injured. 22 yards. You know what? Not surprised. CeeDee Lamb, 2 carries, 6 yards. Don't know. CeeDee Lamb had a good game. 10 receptions, 117 receiving yards, but he didn't get a touchdown. And I wonder why that is. You know. The only one that got a touchdown for the Cowboys was Dalton Schultz, but man, I'm just fed up. I am fed up. 5 receptions, 27 receiving yards, 1 touchdown, and he was targeted 10 times. 10 times you targeted Dalton Schultz, okay? He made 1 dumbass play, but 4 out of those 5 that you missed was on you, Dakota. Wake the fuck up. Surprise me. Make a memorable moment. Not a memorable tragedy that you caused on the fucking field. Noah Brown, 2 receptions, 21 yards. Another thing, you need to throw it more to the younger guys like Noah Brown. T.Y. Hilton, 1 reception, 15 yards. Tony Pollard, 2 receptions, 11 yards. Kevontae Turpin, 1 reception, 8 yards. Okay, it was 8 yards, not 6 yards. I don't care. You don't throw it that short when you got 5 seconds left on the clock with that dumbass formation. Zeke, 2 receptions, 7 yards. And Michael Gallup had 3 targets. You know. And shout out to the Cowboys defense and Dan Quinn. I am so sorry that you have to deal with such mediocrity of an offense like Dakota Prescott and Kellen Moore and fucking fat ass Mike McCarthy. I am so done with the fact that we are mediocre. And for us Cowboy fans that say we're going back to the Super Bowl next year, shut the fuck up. Shut up. You make us all look bad when you say that. I hope you know that. You guys, you delusional Cowboy fans. I'm a Cowboys fan. But am I delusional? No. I know when we're going to be disappointing. I know how bad we are. We beat bad teams and think we're shitting out gold when really we haven't even played anybody. And then we get smacked in the fucking face by Philadelphia or San Francisco. We want to cower down, throw our fucking TVs, throw fucking everything that we own, and run it over with a fucking truck. Makes no goddamn sense. But you're the guys that say, oh, we're going back to Super Bowl, blah, blah, blah. No. Be fucking realistic. You see me talking about Texas going back to the national championship? No. Because I know what we're capable of. We have the capability to go back to the national championship. But are we? No. I don't think we're up to that step yet. Dallas, we're not up to that step yet. Get past the divisional round. This is the 7th straight fucking divisional round that we've lost. When's the mediocrity out of the Cowboy fans and also the Dallas Cowboys gonna stop? And it's a damn shame. It's a damn shame and a travesty that we have to deal with. Now I'm going to move on to the 49ers. I'm done with my rant about Dallas. Brock Purdy, 19 for 29, 214 yards. He didn't throw a touchdown or an interception. So good job for the Cowboys defense. Going in there and sacking him twice for 15 yards. He had a QBR of 53.1 and 87.4. So he's well balanced offensively, but this was his first test, and I gotta say, he did pass. If he didn't throw a turnover, he passed. And plus, he had really good help with Elijah Mitchell. I mean, let's be honest. They didn't get over 100 yards against the Cowboys. They're not going to get over 100 yards against the Philadelphia Eagles. In total, they got 113 yards rushing, but you're not going to get that against Philly. I promise you that. Elijah Mitchell, 14 carries, 51 yards, no touchdown. Averaged out 3.6 yards a carry. Christian McCaffrey, 10 carries, 35 yards, 1 touchdown. That averages out 3.5 yards a carry. Deebo Samuel, 4 carries, 11 yards. Dallas did a really good job holding on to him. What Dallas didn't do a good job of, though, was George Kittle. He is a dangerous weapon. Okay? I get it. We got to we gotta go after Brandon Ayuk, Juwan Jennings, and Tebow Samuel. 3 good targets, and also Christian McCaffrey, which he had 6 receptions for 22 yards, which we did a good job on McCaffrey. We did good on everybody else. What we didn't do a good job was George Kittle. 5 receptions and almost 100 yards on this really good Cowboys defense. 95 yards, averaged out 19 yards a pop with 5 targets. So I don't know how Brock Purdy and George Kittle didn't connect in the end zone. Dallas's pass defense has improved since last season. I will say that right now. Debo Samuel, 4 receptions, 45 yards. No touchdowns for him. He was targeted 7 times. So 3 incompletions against Debo Samuel. So not bad. Juwan Jennings, he did catch everything that he caught, but he only had 2 receptions for 26 yards. And his longest was a 17-yarder, or 21 yards. And then Brandon Ayuk, same thing, 2 receptions, 26 yards. His longest was a 17-yarder, but he only caught half the balls that he was thrown at. But I got to say, our Dallas defense did a really good job, and they really stepped up in this game, in the last several games for sure. But Ray McLeod III, we all know he's a boss. He forced a fumble, or no, he actually fumbled the ball and lost it to the Cowboys. So, but I gotta say, I'm really impressed with Fred Warner. He's really in tune with the pass defense. I mean, I saw him go from the line and guard CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb could have had a touchdown if it wasn't for Fred Warner and a terrible pass by Dak Prescott. Dakota Prescott, sorry. But good win for the 49ers, and that'll conclude the divisional round. I am done bitching about the Cowboys. And we're going to go ahead and start off with the 49ers and Eagles. January 29th at 2 p.m., where you got the Brock Purdy and the defiant 49ers squaring off against the Philadelphia Eagles, who have been dominant this season. The Eagles are favored to win this game, according to ESPN, by 64.4% to 35.6%. Jalen Hurts, Brock Purdy. These two have faced before in the Big 12. Last time they faced each other, it was a shootout, and Oklahoma ended up winning 42-41 in a high-scoring event between Lincoln Riley and Matt Campbell. So let's give our tell of the tape. So this is why I think San Francisco is going to have a lot of trouble. I mean, look at the defense for Philadelphia. They have allowed, throughout the entire season, 7 points per game. 7 points per game. And their offense is explosive. 28.1 points per game. So you have a explosive offense on one side and a dominating defense on the other. And yards allowed, average per game, 253 yards allowed with 135 passing yards. But what hurts them is their rush defense, which I think that should be the key for San Francisco, is to run the ball quite a bit with Elijah Mitchell and Christian McCaffrey. Now, San Francisco, they have a young quarterback who's about to face another tough defense. Arguably one of the top defenses in the NFL. I really do think this is going to be a really good game up until the fourth quarter. I just don't see San Francisco beating Philadelphia. Give me the Eagles by 13. I think the Eagles are going to run away with this one into the Super Bowl, where they will win this game. I think they're going to win this game 27-13. 27-13. I got the Eagles. I hate saying that. I hate saying that the Eagles are going to win, but I am realistic. They are a very tough football team. They are very tough. So, fuck me for saying this, but fly Eagles fly into the Super Bowl. They will face the winner out of the Kansas City Chiefs and the Cincinnati Bengals in my picks and my predictions. So, next game, we're going to talk about the last game for January 29th. As a rare special occasion, folks, it is my birthday, January 29th. And like I said, this historical day, a young man by the name of Tyler James Riddell, or TJ Riddell, was born. He was born the day after the Cowboys won their last Super Bowl. Okay? So why hasn't the Cowboys been to a Super Bowl or a conference championship in the last 27 years? Think about it real quick. There's a conspiracy going on. I'm the curse. I realize that. So I can't be disappointed for the Cowboys to not be in the Super Bowl or in the conference championship game. So, Dallas fans, I am sorry I was even born. So let's move on. But on this day, on TJ Riddell Day, we got the Cincinnati Bengals at 5:30 p.m. on CBS, squaring off against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, this game is going to be a phenomenal showdown. Just like last season, the Bengals beat the Chiefs last season to go on to the Super Bowl and lose to the Los Angeles Rams. But Kansas City's got revenge on their mind. But the question is Mahomes' ankle injury going to affect this game? It's hard to tell right now. It's only Monday, and he does have a high ankle sprain, but I think he's going to try to play this game. I really do think he's going to try to play this game, but I don't know. If the Chiefs don't have Mahomes, they do have Chad Henne, but I just don't see it. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape here. So Cincinnati's defense has really stepped up its game. Their passing yards is what hurts them. 245.5 yards per game, but they average out 13.5 points per game. So they're really good offensively as well. They're well balanced with Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Hayden Hurst. They improved offensively. They look good offensively, and especially during the playoffs right now. So for the Chiefs, the question is Patrick Mahomes coming back? I do see him coming back, but I do see him struggling with this ankle sprain a little bit. He's going to have to be extra taped, and he won't be as mobile as he has been in his entire career. The Chiefs' offense is the highest scoring offense in the NFL with 29.2 points per game, which is really well. But their defense, they've struggled quite a bit sometimes. And Kansas City, they've been at times, and they've lost to the Bengals. And Joe Burrow pretty much is undefeated against Patrick Mahomes. But who do I think is going to win this game? Oh, man, this is going to be tough. I think the Bengals are going to win this game. They're going to go back to the Super Bowl to take on the Philadelphia Eagles in Glendale, Arizona. I think with what Cincinnati has right now compared to what Kansas City is dealing with right now with Mahomes, I think the safer pick is to go with the Bengals. Now, what's the score going to be, TJ? What's the spread in your opinion? Well, I think this game's going to be a great game in the first half. third quarter, the Bengals are going to start to slip away. Mahomes is going to try to come back in and fix things, but it just doesn't work out. It's going to be a pretty high scoring game, so in NFL terms. So give me the Bengals 38-24. I'm going with the Bengals 38-24. Call me crazy, but 38-24 Bengals over the Chiefs. Now that concludes my picks. Now there is some news I want to talk about. It's not NFL related. It is related to the Ed Reed news real quick, and then I'll talk about my Super Bowl plans. What do I plan on doing for the Super Bowl? Since that is the biggest game of the year, and I should have done this for the national championship game. But let's talk about the Ed Reed news. So we all know I made a video on him being fired and what my thoughts were, which I think it's still bullshit. Now, the Bethune-Cookman students, I call them Cookman. So the Bethune-Cookman students, and not only students, but the football team is now thinking about protesting. Rightfully so. I absolutely agree with this. Protest this, I really would like to see Ed Reed try to build this program, but with them firing Ed Reed, it just makes HBCUs look bad. And I'm guaranteeing you that the administrations over there in the HBCU, I don't know what to call it, but so I think they are starting to get the message, and they are saying, hey, you need to rehire this dude because this is going to make us all look bad. Not just you. It's making us all look bad because Jackson State pulled this stunt with Dion, and now y'all are pulling this wild-ass stunt with Ed Reed. So I think what the students and the football team are doing is the smart thing to do to get Ed Reed back on campus and to let Ed Reed clean the fucking filth over there at Bethune-Cookman, So, and yeah, I called them Crookmen because they are fucking crooks. So, on to the PMP news now. Okay, so the PMP hasn't done something like this before. We've done the draft special. Okay, we've done the pre-draft special. We have thought about doing the national championship watch party. Okay? But due to certain circumstances, I couldn't come because of work. So, on February 13th, I am thinking of having a watch party live on YouTube to watch the Super Bowl. Whether it be the Chiefs and the Eagles, the Bengals and the Eagles, Bengals 49ers, Chiefs 49ers, it doesn't matter who it is. We will have a watch party. And I plan on having guests on the show and probably give them about 15, 20 minutes on the show to give their thoughts about the game and just to kind of give them an interview a little bit, And I got a particular guy that wants to come on, and, he's a really cool dude. He's a local guy here in Corpus Christi, so he talks a lot about a lot of good products or topics, current topics, sports. He's really into football just like I am. So it'd be awesome to have him on. I'm thinking about having him on the PMP for the Super Bowl watch party. So, and check his stuff out, Riding High podcast, So it's a really good show. They're funny as hell, and they have really good products. So check them guys out. They are funny as hell. They are awesome to watch. They have really good products. So watch it. Watch Riding High, and DJ Lil King will probably be on the PMP, and then I might have one of the Gridiron hosts, Gabriel, come on here talk about the game. Uh, Now I don't know if I'm gonna have it on Zoom and do it this way, or just have it on YouTube and have everybody just pile up in my house, and watch the game with me. I don't know yet. It's still a thought process. We got a couple weeks away, but also for the PMP, I plan on having a special podcast to talk about the conference championship games. But I plan on taking my setup to a local bar down here. So if there's any local bars that wants me to come on and talk about the games and to talk about just stuff that's going on right now. And I think it'd be a great exposure for the PMP to go out to the local bars. It really spread awareness for the Pigskin Mafia podcast, and also for people to know who they're dealing with the Pigskin Mafia podcast. And I'll have fans come on. I'll have local fans that'll hop right on, talk to me about their thoughts on the Super Bowl, on their thoughts about their team this season. Did they suck? Did they make it to the Super Bowl? Who fucking cares? But I want to try to get in contact. I'm going to try to start calling some local bars down here, and we'll go live on the PMP and get some exposure for the PMP out there in the bar. This will be after the Bengals and the Chiefs game, and I'll go live right after that at the bar or something, and we'll just sit there and talk. It'll be a great birthday celebration to have my podcast at a local bar. So Sugar Shack, Rock Bottom, Boatman's, wherever. If you want the PMP to come on and go live and talk about football, talk about the NFL, and honestly, we'll have a open podcast. That's what it is. It is basically going to start out as we're going to talk about the conference championship games, the recap, and then we're going to talk about a pre-Super Bowl matchup, not predictions or picks, just talk about it. What are thoughts about this game like, And then we'll go on to talk about other news that's going on as far as football, and then kind of get an idea about our XFL and USFL talks, So I'm really excited about that too. But yeah, I really want to go to either one of those bars and do a live podcast and just sit there and shoot the shit about football. I really do enjoy the atmosphere around the bar. I think a live crowd would be awesome. So make sure to stay tuned for the next week or so, and stay tuned for the next podcast. Hopefully I'll be at a bar talking about that sounds like a true alcoholic, but hopefully I'll be at a bar to talk about this and to talk about the conference championship games, and also the Super Bowl coming up, Super Bowl watch party. Will I do it through Zoom, or will I have everybody here at this one particular spot at my house, and we'll watch on my big screen instead of sitting here talking and then looking back at the TV to see what happens, So it's going to be a great pod for the next several weeks. It is going to be an awesome pod. And also, we're going to talk a little bit more recruiting as we go along, and if I could get K-Dub on here, that would be awesome. because I do plan on doing something special for me, K-Dub, and some other people. Talk about our our good old days in Moody, Texas. So stay tuned for that as well. But as I said before I leave, I always have to play this one particular tune. This one particular tune that I have. We are the greatest football podcast in all of podcasting in YouTube. We may not have the numbers to show it, but we got the knowledge to tell it. We are the cream of the crop. We are the PMP. Good night. Good night. Bang.
Turned up in my section, every night we live it up. All my haters mad, but I don't give a fuck. All my haters mad, but I don't give a fuck. My chopper hit, my chopper hit, my 40 hit, my 40 hit. I don't care if you let how I step, I don't care if you let how I rip, I don't care if you let how I step, I don't care if you let how I rip. I got sauce, I got flavor, getting all this paper. I got sauce, I got flavor, getting all this paper. Plain Jane Paddock on my motherfucking wrist. They notice every time when I walk up in this bitch. Post on walk up in this bitch, keep my Glock up in this bitch. Post on walk up in this bitch, keep my Glock up in this bitch. My chopper hit, my chopper hit, my 40 hit, my 40 hit. I don't care if you let how I step, I don't care if you let how I rip, I don't care if you let how I step, I don't care if you let how I rip. Doing something different, and I had to switch it up. Turned up in my section, every night we live it up. All my haters mad, but I don't give a fuck. All my haters mad, but I don't give a fuck. Doing something different, and I had to switch it up. Turned up in my section, every night we live it up. All my haters mad, but I don't give a fuck. All my haters mad, but I don't give a fuck. This shit is exciting. Do it with the right team. My style, they biting. I'm striking like lightning. I'm bagging this bitch. I'm talking my shit. I'm bagging this bitch. I'm talking my shit. I'm about to get on your ass. I'ma just count me some cash. I'm about to get on your ass. I'ma just count me some cash. Doing something different, man, I had to switch it up. Turned up in my section, every night we live it up. All my haters mad, but I don't give a fuck. All my haters mad, but I don't give a fuck.